People rallied outside City Hall today saying more needs to be done to prevent bad faith evictions. CTV's Caitlin Wilson joins us live with more on this. Caitlin.
Patricia, advocates are calling on the city to act now. Under the Ontario Residential Tenancies Act, landlords have the right to evict tenants if there are plans for major renovations. But the landlord must give the tenant the opportunity to return to the unit at the same rent. But that's not always the case.
The sleepless nights, the stress, my appetite would go.
It's an all too familiar story. Tenants like Dave, who asked us not to use his last name, facing eviction so landlords can renovate and charge a higher rent.
They were going to replace the countertops and some of the windows, and a lot of the people left, unfortunately. But when they moved the people out, they jacked up the rent.
This rally outside City Hall calling on the city to adopt a renoviction bylaw. A day before, a report is set to come to Planning Committee. According to that report, between 2010 and 2023, the number of N13s alone jumped more than 100%.
We want landlords to be held accountable. They'll have to prove that the renovations require the tenant to leave. We want the tenants to be able to move back into the unit once it's complete at the same rent.
But city staff aren't recommending a bylaw just yet, pointing to costs, the need to study other cities like Hamilton, the first in the province to pass a renoviction bylaw, along with new provincial legislation. Legislation that, when enacted, would double penalties for landlords who act in bad faith.
Both the cities of Toronto and Hamilton have written to the province asking them to enact those mechanisms. And if they did, the scope of what we need to do as a city would be much, much different.
City Councillor Ariel Troster says she's introducing two motions at Wednesday's meeting to move the bylaw forward.
One is to push the province, and the other one is to say, okay, if the province doesn't act, we should consider acting ourselves.
A bylaw that tenants like Dave say can't come soon enough.
Given the housing crisis that we're going on now, I'd say it's very urgent.
If council decides to go forward with a full bylaw review, the report says it will take a year just to draft regulations, and the city would need to hire up to 15 new employees and could cost more than $2 million to implement. Patricia?
CTV's Caitlin Wilson reporting. Thank you.